Hello, and welcome back to the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast. My name is Eric Herlock, and I am still in the RV right now here parked along the Missouri River in Fort Benton, Montana. Today we're going to hear my conversation with John Green and his wife Marissa Baumgartner. They are building a timber frame Hempcrete house in eastern Oregon, right near the ancestral lands of the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. Those are Marissa's people. This is a fascinating conversation about hemp in Oregon and hemp on Indian reservations, and it's really just a fascinating look, and I hope you enjoy it. Today's show is brought to you by Hemp, New Holland Agriculture, the National Hemp Association, DeSmet Rose Downs, Victory Hemp Foods, Bish Enterprises, Amerishawn Cast Hemp, Pterodon Hemp, and King's AgriSeeds. Thank you for your support. So after recording the interview with Greg and Tanya at Queen of Hearts and Northwest Fiber, we drove east in Oregon until we got out near Adams, Oregon, where we caught up with John Green and his wife Marissa Baumgartner. And they're building a house, and it's going to be, a timber frame house filled in with hempcrete. John explains it in the interview, but we conducted the interview in an old sawmill that they have recently acquired, and that's where they're milling all of the wood for the house. It was just a really just sort of fascinating place to be. And in the interview, we were joined by their young daughter. I think she's about 18 months old. Her name is Walula Green, and so you'll hear her throughout the interview. So I hope you enjoy this, and we'll just get right into it. And then after the interview, I'll tell you a couple of more stories from the road. Marissa and John, welcome to the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast. How are you all doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Doing well, thank you, sir.
Could you introduce yourselves for us, please?
Yeah, I'm Marissa, and this is John, and we are the founders and creators of Ayayani Agronomy LLC. It's a public benefit company. We're located here in northeastern Oregon on the Umatilla Indian Reservation, just outside of Pendleton, Oregon.
Okay, and what is your connection with hemp? Why are we here today?
Well, my hemp story goes back over 20 years when I was introduced to hemp and lime construction in Canada. And so I've always dreamed and planned of building my house using hemp and lime technology. And so as the years progress and we make it here, we get closer to building this house. And so this sawmill that you find us at today just happened to fall in our lap. And so we were planning on building a timber frame hemp and lime home, and so we want to be the catalyst that sparks decortication in the area. And I feel like once we provide the demand and possibility for decortication, the farming should be able to follow suit. So we have recently taken over this mill. Got here, cut our first board May 25th. We were able to team up with Hemp and start a diversified fiber trial. And my main interest is researching whether or not the viability of a dryland crop, whether for a main crop or a rotational crop. My family had pioneered out here in the late 1800s. And then when they had done reworked the Indian Treaty of
1855.
Well, the 94 treaty, and they had lost quite a few thousand acres, and my family happened to obtain a portion of their farm on that sale at the courthouse steps in 1894. And so as the years have progressed, we've just found a need for soil remediation and another crop alternative, because what they do is just plant the GMO wheat, and then every fallow year they just spray the fields with glyphosate, and the soil quality is just drastically deteriorated over the years. And so hopefully, as we embark on this endeavor, we can provide the demand and get these hemp and lime homes going, and then that way be the catalyst to get it planted and start the revolution.
What does hemp mean for your tribe and the tribal lands?
Yeah, that's definitely something that I think is.
It's a great question.
It's a great question. It's something that's new.
It's not legal on the reservation.
It is not legal on the reservation. So right now, where we sit is not on the Umatilla Indian Reservation. However, we're still within the homeland boundaries. We're just a few miles. You would drive this way, and you would hit the reservation.
Yeah, this property here was lost in the 1855 treaty. Our family's property is about 15 miles to the south, and that was lost during the 94 treaty. And so they have not legalized it yet, and so it's a key issue, and we've been working with the board of directors, and so they are interested in using that as a platform this fall, and so they've been doing some work on their own, and so there's a few tribes that have been involved, and so they're looking at that, and they sent a board member to where was that Hemp Expo they went to recently?
I'm not sure exactly where it was.
Regardless, they're interested and they're exploring the options, and so this is actually a big part of what we're trying to do is work with IND Hemp and eventually take a field trip up there and look at the decortication and everything they've got going, and so not trying to legalize the recreational use of marijuana, just, the beneficial use of hemp.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And so in this area, they talk about the grasslands, and they used to have wild horses as far as the eye can see, and it was the most abundant of grasslands. And so with the farming methods over the years, and especially the early farming methods, I mean, they just really wreaked havoc on the soil.
Yeah.
And so
didn't take long, did it?
It didn't take long, and it's going to take quite a while to get it back. But the way the farm contracts work on the reservation and the tribal members that own land, they don't see much profit, from their land, and so that's a big part of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, another part of that whole piece is that hemp has the potential to heal a lot of the. I guess what's happened to the soil over the last several hundred years. And so, our people started leasing their land out to farmers in the area. One, because they were told they had to. And then two, because they depended on it for survival. We were put into a system using currency, money that we did not have. And so our people have, over the years, just continued to lease out the land. Some of those contracts are century contracts. Some of them are 15, 20 years. It kind of just depends. And at this point in time, a lot of the land that is owned by multiple family members. So there's a lot of different people in charge of certain, acreage and plots. And so if at all anything, even just getting regenerative farming back into our community and getting tribal members back into being a part of the farming process and being in touch with their land, and then also making sure that they're getting some of that profit is really important.
Okay.
Getting that trickle down,
right.
Is hopefully where we see it going. So
Yeah.
Good. Can you talk about like the hesitation on the part of the tribe for why they haven't made growing hemp legal?
Yeah, I think that
Substance abuse, and they're afraid of the recreational side of marijuana, and to differentiate between the two, I don't think that they, have a clear, vision of the two separate, and so that's kind of what we're trying to do. And since it's illegal a couple miles that way, but here, we can show them, bring it in, completely harmless, and then get a couple of the board members to take a field trip up there, to
Right.
the IND facility, and then show what can be done. And so they've got a business park and a lot of economic opportunities, and so there's lots of opportunity in the future for growth. It's just being the catalyst that shows that it can be done and that it is safe, and the benefits are many.
I think also with us being a reservation, we're technically a sovereign nation, so we follow federal guidelines, and so just that state to federal difference in law and in legislature is there. but also just getting the education out, especially about substance use and the difference between hemp, and even educating about cannabis in general and the benefits around that subject are something that I think this next generation coming in is going to be doing a lot more education and exploring how these plants are helpful to our people in an array of ways. So.
Right. When your family members or some of the members of your tribe, what do they think of what you're doing?
Well, we just got started. Yeah, the seed in the ground. Yeah, it's everybody's optimistic, and so we hope we're tasked with going before the board of directors with the PowerPoint and really giving them our presentation here within the near future. And so, that's where you find us, is with lots of irons in the fire. And we just wanted to explore the viability and see how it would work, in a dry land condition. And we planted a little late, and then the weather, it's been 115 degrees for a week straight and no water. And so it's been an interesting trial, but I'm really optimistic with the hardiness that some of these little guys have showed. I mean, on their own, and then the stuff that's got water has obviously responded. But for me, it was just, will it grow, and how will it grow without water, and what could be expected moving forward. And so we just started with 4 strains on less than a half acre each, and so next year we've got a better idea, and we'll broaden our test plots out and into the actual agriculture fields, and working with several different farmers and try to get exponential growth and see if we can't attain decortication here. Because I feel that you're going to have decortication every 150, 200 miles for it to be a truly sustainable market.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. So where are you going to source the hemp herds for your Hempcrete? Because obviously you're not getting it out of 2 acres over there.
What we got here, I've actually got it all stored, so we've got that already bought and purchased.
Oh, okay.
So
where'd you get that from?
Well, I went to a training with the Hempcrete guys last year, and I bought quite a bit to play with and piddle around last year. And then as these plans come back, we were able to get the remaining amount we needed for our house bought and obtained.
What will you use as a binder?
We'll use the AgriSeeds binder that comes out of France, because they got the ASTME stamp on it. So it'll be real easy to go before the building inspector. They've got their own planning division out there on the tribe, and it's international building code. So it should be a little bit easier to get it permitted and put through the system. And once we have the prototype or the model out there, we feel that we'll be able to replicate it. And it's a passive style home, single pitch roof, rainwater collection. And it should be, and everything's theoretical at this point. So it should. Hopefully, it responds as we've been led to believe it will respond. And, we look forward. We really look forward to get to packing the Hempcrete and watching it go up.
Good. I'm really curious about the reservation and the tribal lands, because in Pennsylvania, it's I'm from, I guess, what was Lenape land, and every time I'm in the woods there in southeastern Pennsylvania, I think about it's just sort of the great sadness of it. And I don't know, I feel a connection to those woods and those creeks, and I know that, there was thriving people there for so long. And so to be here where your people are here, and this is their ancestral lands, right?
Yeah. And this is where, so our reservation is called the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. But there are 3 neighboring tribes that were in different locations in the broader area, the Cayuse, Umatilla, and Walla Walla peoples. And originally, we were not going to have this reservation here at all. There was just going to be one down in Central Oregon, and then the one in southeastern Washington. And so our people talk about our treaty being one of the strongest, because our leaders fought really hard to make sure that we would have this area because of the value that it had to our hunting and gathering. And so Yeah, this is where my people are from. This is where my family's from, and that's where John and I kind of have a cool connection. His family, came here a long time ago, and so for us to be able to work together on something, he has that ag background, and then my tribal history it's really neat. I feel like we make a really good team, so it's been a fun journey, and I just hope to continue educating our people on the benefits of this and really coming back to healing that land. I mean, my grandfather leases out some of his land to wheat farmers, and every year you can see the eroding that's taken place, and just every year how they come closer and closer, and it's really disheartening for a lot of our elders, especially somebody like him who saw was around his grandparents and saw that he's seen the changes in the land, not just in this area but all over our homelands. We have 6.5 million acres of usual and custom land that we continue to harvest and practice traditional gathering methods all throughout the year. So it's a really special place. I don't plan on ever leaving, so this is home, and I appreciate you taking the time to ask. And I actually have a friend up in Wallowa County who's Lenape, and those are his people, so the connection is good.
Right, good. I'm getting goosebumps and chills right now.
Yeah, Joe Whittle. Yeah, he's really, really awesome. He's a journalist, and he does all kinds of really great work in Indian country, and
Photographer too?
He's a photographer. He works for the National Forest up there.
He's a guide.
He does all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's funny because I randomly meet people who have connection to the Lenape land or people, and I'm always like, I actually know somebody who's originally from that area, So thank you.
Yeah. Would you do introductions again with your first and last names?
Yeah, you go first.
My name's Marissa Baumgartner.
And I'm John Green.
Okay. And you're married, and this is your child?
Yes, this is Wallula Jade.
Another daughter.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oldest daughter's 18. She's off to college to throw the javelin for Lane there in Eugene, so that'll be fun. And that's here in just a couple weeks. So.
Okay. Excellent.
And we've had a blessed life, and we just hope to, share what we know, and we really truly want to make the world a better place, and we find that hemp can be the catalyst to help young and old alike.
Yeah.
So,
Good. So after the interview, we walked around in their test plots out there. I shot some video, and I'll have that on the show page for this episode. So check that out at lancasterfarming.com. So after we left John and Marissa, we drove into Walla Walla, and Greg Necco from I&D Hemp wanted to show me a hemp field, a really good-looking hemp field, about 30 acres outside of Walla Walla. So we drove up there just as the sun was setting, and I took a bunch of pictures and shot some video there. So I'll also have that on the show page for this episode. And then from Walla Walla, we drove out to Missoula. And in Missoula, we got there right at dinner time on Sunday, and we parked the RV right downtown, and we found this place called the Notorious PIG, and we got some barbecue there, and brisket, and it was good. But just as we sat down to eat, this younger couple came up and said, "Hey, are you with the Lancaster Farmer?" Because that's what people back home call the newspaper. They call it the Farmer. And I was like, "Yeah, sure am." He's like, "I saw the RV. And I just wanted to introduce myself." And I think his name was Andy, and he's from Berks County, Pennsylvania, but he's been out in Montana, 15 years. And so it was great to connect with, somebody who grew up reading our paper back home. His parents have a 20-acre farm. They still read the paper. So that was cool. I gave him one of our hats, and I gave him a copy of the paper. But also driving from Missoula into Fort Benton, we came... the closest we've come so far to forest fires. We've seen smoke all over the place, from starting in Colorado. The skies over Denver were super hazy, and then we saw smoke down in southern Colorado, and again in Utah. Nevada was very, very smoky. In California, of course, there's lots of fires, and we could see great plumes on the distant horizon. And then, of course, the same in Oregon, and now in Montana, this was the closest we came. You could even see the red glow from the flame. It's really just kind of freaky, kind of scary, a little disheartening, and also, awesome, the awesome power of fire. I know on one level, these fires are sort of part of nature, right? Some of these trees only regenerate with fire, but the conditions right now are not good. It's so dry here, and fires start very easily and are causing lots of damage. And these events are caused by climate change. This is the climate changing before our very eyes. And so here I am bearing witness to this. And it to me, it makes the work I'm doing here on the podcast even more important, because agriculture and industrial hemp have to be part of the climate change mitigation solution, right? So great big fires, and my heart goes out to the people who are affected by these fires in a greater way than just seeing smoke on the horizon. So anyway, that's the show for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, you can always reach out to me. Send an email to podcast@LancasterFarming, or call my office number and leave me a message, and I'll get back to you at 717-721-4462. So again, my name is Eric Herlock. I am the digital editor at Lancaster Farming Newspaper, the greatest agricultural newspaper in the world. Until next time, I will see you in the newspaper or on the road, whichever comes first.
Industrial hemp.
Episode 148 of the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast is copyright 2021 by Lancaster Farming Newspaper, part of the Steinman Communications family. Today's show is written and recorded, edited, and produced by Eric Herlock, and any music you hear throughout the show is courtesy of Tin Bird Shadow.